Seasons: oregano, basil, parsley, but also spring and summer. Last devlog, I teased adding seasons into my slime farming game. And what better season to add than my favorite season of all? I've always wanted to add changing seasons into a game, so I've been really excited to add this. I even had plans for this when I was working on my old farming game called Slime Game, and that was a few years ago. I want each season to feel unique, and I want them all to come with their own crops, jellies, and different furniture items. I didn't feel like coding just yet, so I started work on a fall tile set. I really wanted to capture that bright orange autumnal feeling that lots of games have. There's just something about fall that makes everything feel so much more cozy. After I finished the ground, I began working on the trees. I stuck with the same sort of orange color for the trees, but I did get suggested that I should maybe make yellow and red trees in the future, and I think I might go back later and add that at a different date. The trees are finished and it's already looking like fall. The last thing left to do is to change these bushes. So here's the finished product. I think it looks really awesome, and the next step is to actually track what day it is in Unity. I started by adding new text on the HUD that's going to track what day it is, and then I began coding the actual days into the game. Keep in mind this is very placeholder. I'm probably going to say the days and show the time in a very more fancy and farming game-esque manner, but for now it's just going to be some words on the top of the screen. Now we're in the game and you can see that it says Monday. So if I go over here and sleep, now you can see that it's Tuesday. So the day system is essentially working. But now, we need to figure out what season it currently is. So I added another text element to the HUD, and then I got back to coding again. Now back in the game, you can see that the season is spring. Now we need to change the look of the game depending on what season it is. When it changes seasons in my game, essentially it's just going to do a tile swap on all of the tiles in the game so that everything looks different. This is a really fun but also very tedious process. It's very relaxing, but then it sort of gets very boring pretty quickly. Now I need to write the code that actually switches the season. Now season changing should be in the game, and I also added a little thing up on the top that shows what day it currently is in the season that you're in. It says 21 right now, but there's going to be 20 days in each season. So it's now night. Let's sleep and see if it works. Okay, that was my bad. I admit I completely messed up and forgot to add a tiny little thing. Okay, now when we sleep, it should change to fall. And there you go, it works, which is amazing. The first fall exclusive thing that I wanted to make was leaf particles that fall from the trees around the map. I've never really made particles like this before, so I kind of struggled a bit making these. This is my first attempt at the falling leaves, and I think I need to make them move in a direction because it doesn't really look like they're being blown in the wind, it just looks like they're kind of just dropping off the tree. So I added some velocity to them, and I also added some noise so they kind of sway through the air a little bit. And now look at them. I think it looks pretty good. I'm not exactly 100% finished with them, and I don't know if the sprites for them are exactly what I want them to be, but I think for now it's a really good start. So in the game, each season is going to come with its own seasonal resource. And this seasonal resource is going to be gathered in a bunch of different ways depending on what season it is. You'll use this seasonal resource to craft seasonal furniture items. The seasonal resource for fall is fall leaves. And I thought, what could be a better way of collecting fall leaves than by having leaf piles? Now that our leaf pile is finished, let's add it into the game. Back in Unity, I created the game object that'll serve as our leaf pile. The leaf pile is really simple. You run into it, and it explodes, and it drops items. And every single day, more leaf piles will spawn. Now that we have the leaf pile finished, it's time to make it actually work. Okay, so all I have to do is run into the leaf pile, and it drops an item. Next, I created a particle for when the leaf pile explodes. Now when I run into the leaf pile, it has a very satisfying particle effect and it drops some items. We have the leaf pile, so I think it's a good time to make the fall resource now. I wanted this item to stand out a little bit more, so I made it a red color as opposed to the orange color that we've been using. Now back in the game, when I run into these leaf piles, you can see that it drops these fall leaves now. Having this seasonal resource is really awesome because it locks some furniture items depending on what season you're in. And speaking of furniture items, I was thinking of what furniture item should I add that would be Halloween or fall related, And of course I'm going to add a jack-o'-lantern. This is a spot where I kind of need your guys' help. I don't exactly know what I want to add into the game yet, so if you have any ideas for fall or Halloween related furniture items that you'd like to see, please leave a comment down below and tell me what you'd want. Here's the finished jack-o'-lantern. I think the sprite came out really good, so let's add it into the game. Before we can just add it into the game, we actually have to make an item for it. Now that that's done, we can make the jack-o'-lantern. So I just use the scarecrow as a base and basically change the sprite, and that's kind of what I do for all of my furniture. Now, since this is using a brand new resource that I didn't exactly have planned when I first made the crafting system, I had to add the new fall leaf resource into the crafting system and then add the recipe into the crafting table. With that done, I can actually store the fall leaves in the crafting table, open it up, and you can see the jack-o'-lantern is there. And even though I have enough fall leaves, it says I don't have enough, so something is clearly broken. Now it's displaying properly and I can craft the jack-o'-lantern. But when I put it down, it's a little bit floaty. I can fix that later though. And when you pick it up, it turns into a scarecrow, but it's okay. I can fix that stuff later. With the jack-o'-lantern finished, I think it's a good time to make a seasonal crop. I like to take inspiration from the real world and add my own twist to everything I make. So the crop that I'm making is what we would call a pumpkin, but in the universe of Luna Lane, it is called a gourdkin. Now you'll probably notice later on, but this isn't the design that I actually use in the final game. I drew this, but then I ended up changing it on my own and I didn't record it. I don't know why, I think I totally forgot. But for now, you guys get to see the process of me making this early version of it. And what's a pumpkin without a jelly that loves to eat them? Right now I'm creating what is called an avialio, which is pretty much a jelly that's a turkey. Now I wanted there to be a seasonal jelly. Somebody suggested making a turkey and I thought that was a great idea. The way you'll get the avialio is you can actually fuse a fall leaf and a jelly and then it'll create the avialio. With the avialio and the gourdkin finished, let's add them into the game. When I create a new jelly, I essentially just take a prefab from the original jelly and then I'm able to change the sprites and all the animations for it. It's a pretty simple process, but it's also a little bit tedious and annoying sometimes. But now we have the avialio in the game. Now I did say earlier that the avialio is a fusion, so I made the new fusion for that. It should be as simple as picking up a jelly, carrying it over to the fusion area, placing the jelly down, putting down the fall leaf, and it's not working. Okay, I think I fixed it. Let's pick up the jelly, run him over to the fusion area, put him down, put down the fall leaf, and there we go, we have an avialio. I think it's so cute, it's very adorable. It's the first like bird jelly that I've ever had. It still moves in the same exact way the other jellies do, but I just think it's a very cute jelly. The last thing to test is a brand new gourdkin, and yes, I said earlier that I changed the sprite. I essentially added some vines or leaves growing out in front of it. It adds this more like bushy, viney feel to it. I thought it was kind of weird that it was just a pumpkin just straight sitting on the ground and getting bigger, so I wanted to add a little bit of something around it. Adding all of these fall and Halloween related items has really enhanced the gameplay a ton. I think every season in the real world, I'm going to add the new seasons into the game. So in winter, I'll be adding winter. If you're wondering about holidays, yes, they're going to exist in the game, but I'm going to be doing a devlog about adding them all later. In the next devlog, I want to add player housing and also a general store. This is also the first of the Halloween content that I'll be releasing for this year. I'm kind of a little bit late on the Halloween stuff because Halloween is already pretty much happening. But since I'm in the spooky spirit and I love Halloween and all things related, I'm going to be doing a playthrough of one of my favorite games, Costume Quest 2, over on my second channel. There'll be a link to that in the description, as well as a card thing that'll pop up on one of these sides. I don't know which side it'll pop up on. But that's it for this video. As always, I'll see you in the next devlog.